So the summer transfer window came to an end the other day, and as usual, deadline day was hectic. But there was one transfer saga on deadline day which stuck out to me more than any other, and I just have to make a video covering it. The player at the centre of this transfer saga is Bamba Dieng, a 22-year-old centre forward who plays for Marseille. In his breakout season last season, Dieng got 7 goals and 3 assists in just under 1,000 minutes in Ligue 1, which are good numbers for someone who hadn't really been given a chance in the senior Marseille side before last season. And before his move to Marseille, he was a top scorer of the Senegalese Premier League in his debut season, getting 12 goals in 14 matches. Dieng also plays for the Senegalese national team and was part of the squad that won the African Cup of Nations in February of this year, with him getting a goal in a 2-0 win versus Cape Verde in the round of 16 and also scoring in a penalty shootout in the final versus Egypt. If you take this into consideration, it makes sense why he was on the radar of a few clubs, with Fabrizio Romano reporting back on the 11th of August that Dieng will leave Marseille and more than 2 Premier League clubs were planning on signing him. And as we now know, one of those clubs was Leeds United. Fast forward to deadline day, and Fabrizio Romano revealed that Leeds were closing in on signing Bamba Dieng after an attempt to sign Cody Gakpo failed, and this was followed up by a tweet confirming Marseille had accepted Leeds' bid of around €10 million and another giving a here we go on Dieng joining Leeds after personal terms with the player had been agreed. Now so far, nothing about this transfer seemed crazy. Leeds were initially going for another player, had their bid rejected on deadline day, and settled for another one of their transfer targets in Bamba Dieng. But then out of nowhere, there was a twist and a tail. OGC Nice were revealed to be hijacking the deal, and Bamba Dieng, who was meant to fly to England for his medical with Leeds, didn't get on the flight and was instead in talks with Nice. Whilst Dieng was at the airport with his agent negotiating with Nice, Leeds were reportedly furious as they had reached an agreement with the player at Marseille earlier that day, and all of a sudden the player changed his mind and it was too late in the day to go for anyone else. What makes it worse is that the day before, Fabrizio revealed how Leeds were considering Hwang Hee-chan and Cody Gakpo as options, but they would only sign them if Daniel James was to leave the club. And seeing as how Leeds pursued Dieng after the Gakpo deal collapsed, it seems like they wanted him to be the man who replaced Daniel James, who they sent to Fulham on loan on deadline day, meaning they lost Daniel James and didn't even get a replacement when they thought they would, so them being fuming makes total sense. And if you want to know just how sure Leeds were that they were going to get this deal over the line, their owner Andre Radrizzani literally replied to a Leeds fan's tweet saying to welcome Bamba Dieng before the deal had even been officially announced. But anyway, because Dieng didn't get on the flight and was instead in talks with OGC Nice, Leeds decided to leave the negotiations and the deal was completely off. From here, it looked like the hijacking had been successfully pulled off, and in a few hours' time he'd be announced as an OGC Nice player. But that will change when Bamba Dieng failed his medical at OGC Nice right before the transfer window slammed shut. It's not often that you see a player fail his medical, so the fact that this happened after the deal was hijacked on deadline day makes this one of the craziest deadline day transfer sagas I've ever seen. The next day, OGC Nice tried to negotiate another deal with Marseille to try and get the player in January, I presume, but no agreement was reached and the deal was called off. And now, despite it being reported that Dieng was going to leave Marseille in early August, he has to return to Marseille for the next few months at least. But yeah, that is the story of the Bamba Dieng deadline day transfer saga. If you made it this far and enjoyed the video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, and while sharing, comment on your opinion on this transfer saga. With that being said, have a good one guys. See ya.